Recently, I spoke about the impact that AI-simulated girlfriends might have on the mind and the behavior of those 50% of all young men that, at least in the US, don't have a romantic relationship and don't see much of a chance to change their situation. What happens to their mind? What happens to their behavior? Well, there's another question closely connected to that nobody seems to really ask. And that is, how about the young women? 30% of them don't have a romantic relationship as well, which is substantially less than the young men, but still 30%. Why the gap? Because a lot of these young women have entered relationships with older men who, since they have grown up in a more traditional world, have a higher interest in starting a family and having kids. Now, wait a minute, isn't that a very traditional view on things? Yes, it is. And since 200,000 years, in the case of humans, there is the innate genetic programming of women to wanting to get pregnant and having babies. Now, if it were not for that program, there wouldn't be any human beings at all. There also is a genetic tendency of men to parenthood, but it's not as strong as it is in women. So women think, ooh, my clock is ticking. I need somebody who wants, like me, a family. And a family means one baby or more. Will there be an AI simulation of motherhood? No, this will not happen. Why? Because it will not work. You can't simulate a baby on a computer screen and expect any woman to be satisfied by that. However pleasing this baby simulation might be, there is no chance to replace a physical baby, except by a physical baby simulation. Meaning, and here again we are at my favorite subject, the moment the industry introduces lovable humanoid robot babies and all other ages of children, our entire life, our society, everything will change to a degree that surpasses Industrial Revolution, the Agricultural Revolution, introduction of computer, internet. All of this will be small compared to the change that we face when lovable humanoid robotic babies will be introduced, and they will be irresistible. Irresistible, why? They don't come with the flip side that babies definitely have. They don't cry, they don't tooth, they don't have tantrums, they don't have their aggressive moments when they are playing with other kids. Anything that we don't like with real children, human children, will not be simulated by the software powering the lovable humanoid robot child. This will be the big change. Women will fall in love with these robots. No, I won't. I hear all these millions of women shout right now from all over the world. And I tell you what, you are wrong. You are completely wrong. I see how the heart opens when you are confronted with the stimuli that only come from cute little helpless baby individuals. And they don't have to be human to just hit your heart to the core and to make you feel like I have to mother this little being. The moment there will be a hardware that is humanoid enough in touch, reaction, behavior, warmth, all that makes us and even our pets so lovable. The moment such a robotic baby enters the market, we will see a lot of rejection. No, not for me, not for me, not for me. But then there will be the early adopters and they will try it out. And then all the TV stations, or whatever then it will be called, will report what happens. And it will be the wonderful stories that make Hollywood movies. Before I was like this, then that happened to me, and in the end I completely changed. This is what the media will show. And this is what will make all these not for me, not for me, not for me women consider. Maybe I try. And of course the industry will answer this. They will offer trials. They will tell you, okay, fine, here is the baby robot, try it for 2 months. Don't pay anything. You don't like it, you return it, fine. But you will fall in love. This baby robot will be the dream child that you always pictured in your mind and in your heart, because it does not have the flip sides of a real baby. It is just fantastic. And if you trying out this irresistibly lovable humanoid robot baby, so it's just like a real baby growing up in your household, being loved by you and loving you and giving you all this extremely satisfying whatever it is. You will fall for this machine. Maybe not quite to the extent that you completely deny the idea of having a real human flesh and blood baby. But when looking at media, when asking for advice, they will all recommend better download the Realistic Baby app and check out how you would react to a realistically behaving baby, because the robot can also be made to act realistically. And then, sleepless nights. When you then compare between the pleasing, wonderful, no problem baby and the realistic, how it really is, you might start to think, do I really want a real one? And still, the strength of innate programming will be serious enough for quite a few women having children. Let's say 1 child plus 1, 2 or 3 robotic siblings. Nevertheless, 2 things I want to point out. The moment there are irresistibly lovable humanoid robot babies, women will lose any interest in men and just live their women plus robot, maybe 1 real child lives. The second thing is the subject to not only 1 video in the future, and that is reproduction rate plummets. At the moment, it's around 2 in most industrialized countries. But imagine it drops to 1. What will happen? A reproduction rate of 1 instead of 2 will cut the population by 50% per generation. After 1 lifetime of change, so that is 70, 80, then 90 years, 50% per generation. This is a huge change in society that we will talk about later in a video. I have talked about it in my book, Bolessing, The Age of Lovable Humanoid Robots and Humanistic AI, published and available on Amazon.com, both as ebook as well as paperback. If you are curious about these subjects, buy the book, read about it, but maybe still you find it interesting to return to this channel. You are welcome anytime. Bye-bye.